Welcome to the Personnel Commission meeting of November 9th, 2021. And this meeting is called to order at 3:31 p.m. And Mr. Valencia, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. Everyone, please face the flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Members present, Anthony Rocha.
Arnold Rocha,
I'm sorry, Arnold Rocha.
present.
Anthony Valencia.
Present.
And I am Paula Gonzalez sometimes. No members absent. Approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for today?
I move to approve the agenda for today.
Second.
And comments or discussion?
None.
I just would like to note that the agenda that was posted on Friday did not include the minutes from the previous meetings. For whatever reason, there was a glitch, because if you look at Board Docs now, it is on there. So there will not be any meeting minutes from the previous meeting. They will appear on the next meeting for approval. Okay. Any public comments? Ms. Jackson, any public comments today?
No.
Okay.
You didn't vote though.
Oh. Call for the vote. Mr. Rocha.
Aye.
Mr. Valencia.
Aye.
And I vote yes as well. I have to call you Mr. When I try to say your name, that's when I get confused. Remember last time you asked me what was my name? And okay, any public comments? No. CSEA?
Good afternoon, PC. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. We do have just a couple concerns of some of the advanced step placements that didn't get approved last month. I heard it was because of some of the errors that may have been in the clerical realm of the PC. However, we did have a lot of people that were upset because it was voted down and were concerned that they did have some concerns with their advanced step placement, but I see it's back on the agenda, so I look forward to hearing from you guys as far as that. And other than that, that's it for tonight.
Thank you. District Administrator Report. Dr. Rubalcava.
Good afternoon. Always a pleasure to be here. There's an agenda item this evening on the Personnel Commission agenda related to the petition that was received on behalf of the Board of Trustees that CSEA submitted. CSEA did satisfy the number of signatures required. The district did its due diligence to validate the signatures through its process, and therefore a plan is now in place, activated, to move forward with that process. This evening, the district is asking the commission to propose a name of a commissioner that would sit on the tabulation committee. We're also going to need, we're asking the Personnel Commission to propose a name on who would speak at the forum that is scheduled for January 11th for the pro mic. And then, of course, the classified service would have someone on the con mic. And then the voting or the election is scheduled to take place on January 18th. That's the proposal for the board. And then the board meeting is scheduled for January 20th, where it would receive the results if the tabulation committee verifies. So I just wanted to give some context to that item. Other than that, classified is working hard to fill some of the vacancies. Really happy to share that 5 of the mental health clinicians have been selected and will be going to the board, I believe, at this meeting. And we're excited about that. We're also filling any other additional classified positions that the board approved. We're looking at additional security at Lakeview and at Hook. And we're going to continue to try to fill the other vacancies for the mental health clinicians. So that's always good news because our sites do need the support. We're working hard to keep everyone safe. And that's all I have for this evening.
Dr. Rubikov, if I might clarify, you're speaking of a tabulation committee, and what would that be for?
Sure. So, under Education Code, when CSEA submitted its petition, we're required under Education Code for the
Petition
board
for?
petition to dissolve the Personnel
Dissolve.
Commission.
Okay, that's what I was asking for.
Yes. So, as I previously explained, the necessary signatures were required to move forward with the process. Under Education Code, the district is responsible for being neutral and appointing a tabulation committee, and it consists of 3 members: 1 member of the classified service, 1 personnel commissioner, and 1 board member appointed by the board.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What item is that?
It's going to be 5.10. Okay. Okay, for action items, do I have a motion to consider approving the classified personnel report?
I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Comments?
I noticed on the personnel report that we had something indicating additional hours and then working out of class. I want to ask the CSEA, was any of the working out of class objected to, not voluntary?
We had one that was objected to, and that we resolved with the district last month. A food service worker was denied working out of class. We filed a grievance. The grievance equated to about $17.08. The district has now set up that grievance, so that person was paid out.
So,
I haven't been notified of anything in the last few weeks.
sounds good. Now, what about the additional hours?
Mr. Dickinson, the additional hours
Was
is
there any-
that, I'm sorry.
Was there any grievance with the additional hours?
No.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's my discussion.
Okay. And the only comment I have regarding this is that I still have concerns about the instructional assistants being assigned to transportation services. I see that there is one on there for approval that was assigned to transportation services after our last meeting when we shared some of our additional concerns from previous meetings. And I'm pretty sure it's probably coming up upon the first evaluation time. I think it's 3 months, 2 months. And I'm not sure how those transportation services instructional assistants can be evaluated, like the equal work for equal pay. How is it possible? I just don't know how they're evaluated. I know I did hear at the last board meeting that the board asked Dr. Williams to put in for a bus aid, and he said he would do that. I haven't heard yet. Maybe I just haven't heard, but I haven't heard yet that that is in process. But hopefully it will be soon. And that's my only comment on that report. Any other discussion or comments?
On that, I was not here at the last meeting, so I was in surgery, so I couldn't participate. But the instructional assistant, special education, was originally for October 19th. That was the day I was absent. So this was not approved last time?
So, yeah, we're on the classified personnel report, but yes, for that
Okay.
next item,
But that was what you were talking about, was,
a couple of different
But-
meetings where we've had concerns over the instructional assistants being assigned to transportation.
but I don't think that, and I might be wrong, but I don't think that grading or looking at how the district grades our employees on probation would be on our purview. I think that's going to be directed by the district itself.
It is, but equal
Okay.
work for equal pay is the bus aides, as they're kind of being called informally, are not doing the work or being evaluated on the same duties or essential duties that the instructional assistant special education who are assigned in a classroom are being evaluated on, starting on the same date or within the same time. So that's why I'm saying
No
equal.
problem, I just
yeah,
wanted to make sure
kind
that I
of
was
stuff on the
staying
same
in my
page.
lane here.
Okay. Any other discussion?
None.
No.
Okay. For the vote, Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye.
and I vote no. Okay, next
Wait.
item.
You voted no on the report?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Next item is 5.2, eligibility list for instructional assistant special education, and this would be the list that was on the agenda for the October 19th meeting that had to be rescheduled, or that had to be canceled, I should say, and it's coming back to this regular meeting. So do I have a motion to accept that eligibility list?
So moved.
And I second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
None.
My discussion would only be that I would like to just voice my opinion on how I view this, and we just talked about it momentarily, just for a second. When the district orders a chef, we recruit, screen, test, and provide them a chef, okay? And I think that that's what the district is asking for, is instructional assistants to be used in a manner in which and I'm pointing at you, Dr. Rubalcaba, because you represent the district, the way they see fit within the classification and the job description. If they ask for something else, then we're going to send them that. But we can't send. You can't ask for a chef and send them a janitor. So that's why that was my thing. I want to get the best people for the job. That's what we're here for. Recruit, screen, test, and then the district, they're the hiring authority, and then they take over from there, and then we're out of our lane. Okay. I don't know what happened at the meeting when I wasn't here. Okay, so
We just had,
I just wanted to voice it. So
Right.
go ahead.
any other discussion?
None.
Okay. What is the total number of, never mind, we'll skip that for now. So call for the vote. Mr. Rocha?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Next agenda item, eligibility list, instructional assistant, special education. And,
So moved.
okay,
And I second that with discussion.
okay. And for discussion,
None.
My next question is how many vacancies do we currently have for this specific?
17 as of today.
17. See, this is what we were talking about, is the need for these valued, screened people in the district. I take it, Mr. Rubalcaba, you're not abusing these people and making them take the trash out. Okay. No further discussion for me.
How many people, yeah, there we
Uh,
go.
don't-
How-
yeah,
Okay.
no, go ahead. Say what you need to say.
I think when I hire a chef, I'm not hiring him to be a waiter, is what I'm saying.
All right.
I think that's what we just need to say, is, if I hire an instructional aide, I'm hiring an instructional aide, not an instructional aide / bus rider. But that's what it is right now. That's the way it is right now. So if I hire a chef, I'm surely not going to put him to dishwash, and I'm surely not going to put him to wait tables. So and then if he's going to get evaluated by the maitre d' on his chef skills, then I would question as to, am I being fairly judged? Am I fairly being evaluated? So, I mean, that's just, it is what it is right now. We need to fill these positions. So I say, I so move on the basis of need. But if we're going to make those types of analogies, let's fully expand on it.
These are for special education. Do we have anybody for special education in here? No? So, Mr., I'm afraid you're going to catch the arrows again.
I'm here.
And we don't want to do a whole lot of interaction
Yeah,
with the
it's just
audience.
move.
No,
I
I'm
moved.
asking him.
I moved.
He's
But we
he's-
still don't do too much interaction with the audience. So, but you're welcome to ask a question.
Okay. If a special education student is touched by non-instructional aid trying to control him, doesn't that generate a specific report? PERB report, something like that?
Okay. Any,
And
that's
that's
not
why.
appropriate discussion for this time, I don't believe, to interact with the audience
Well,
with something like that.
I'm asking him because I want to make sure that he understands that if we create something that doesn't abide by the law, when you interact with a special education student, that's going to generate a specific interaction report that we have to start reporting to the county. Whereas these people are trained to take care of those kids. You asked me my opinion, and this is what discussion's for.
Right,
So, that's it. If you want to call for the vote, I'm ready.
okay. I noticed that on the recruitment bulletin for open and continuous, it does now indicate that the assignment may be at transportation services or at a site. So at least when somebody applies for this position, they're aware that it's not only at a school site. I would hope that if they see transportation services, it might raise a red flag, like, why would I be applying for an instructional aid? If I'm coming from another district where I was an instructional aid, why would I be applying for something that's at transportation services? So I would hope they would ask that question if they're not clear. But Deshaun, I do have a question. Prior to interviews, they are informed that they're coming to be interviewed for a position that may be at transportation services, a split shift, riding a bus versus being in a classroom. It's not told to them as it was in the past. They were told that when they were offered the position. They didn't know until then. Okay, so they're told prior to scheduling an interview.
They're told when they're called what the position is for. It's
Prior to being offered the position, they know what they were interviewing for,
We're telling them where the position is.
prior to the interview. Okay. Okay, and I know the
And
transfer.
the posting too.
It says, just says transportation services, but I just make sure they're clear. Some of these people on the list were on before that was updated. And I know the transfer bulletins indicate where it's from because it is for a transfer. So now, with 17 vacancies, if this list is approved, I would imagine that every position would be filled. And of course, it would have to be recruited again, as long as everybody accepted the assignment. And at this time, I don't believe there are any vacancies in transportation services. Okay.
Do we have this on a continuous? Okay, thank you.
That's why you guys have two lists.
Two lists.
That's
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Any other discussion?
None.
Okay, for the vote, Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye?
and I vote aye as well. Eligibility list for family engagement liaison.
I move forward for approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Second. Sorry.
You like to hear yourself talk? Any discussion? None? Okay, for the-
Yes, I just want to make
Okay.
sure, in number one, I noted that we have peripheral points assigned as appropriate. Just want to make that noted. We're paying attention to all this stuff. No further discussion.
Okay, for the vote, Mr. Valencia,
Aye?
Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
and I as well. Okay, 5.5, eligibility list for mental health clinician.
So moved.
Motion, okay.
And I second.
Any discussion?
None.
I notice that this is open and competitive. We have no one in the district that could fill this at this time?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. For the vote, Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye?
and I as well. Next item is initial salary placement, step C, for Christine Glass.
So moved.
I second. Check our,
Any discussion?
None.
no discussion for me. Thank you.
Okay, for the vote, Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye?
and I as well. Next item is initial salary placement at step C for Edith Hernandez.
I so move.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yes. After reviewing the application, I noticed a significant number of years over, as indicated in the memo. No further. Nothing further.
Okay, further discussion, no?
None.
For the vote, Mr. Valencia,
Aye.
Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
and I as well. There you go. Next, initial salary placement, step B for Patricia Sanchez.
So move.
I second.
Any discussion, comments?
None
No.
here?
For the vote, Mr. Rocha.
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye.
and I as well. Initial salary placement at step C for Tara Jones.
So move.
And I second.
Any discussion?
None.
No, she's a very talented person, according to the memo.
Okay. For the vote, Mr. Rocha,
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye.
and I as well. Next item, 5.10, is selection of a member of the commission to the Tabulations Committee to dissolve the Personnel Commission. Do I have a motion to bring this to the table?
So moved.
What are you gonna, you have to make a selection. You have to make
Do I
suggestions.
right here, make a selection right now?
No,
Or are we just
you
passing
motion
this?
to bring it to the table.
I thought it was just a motion to bring this. So, Mr. Valet, are we,
We're bringing the motion to
Should-
the table.
I moved to bring the motion to the table.
I second.
with
And
his
then now we make a
nomination.
selection? Right here?
And if we could talk about it for a second, just
Sure.
a discussion before we get to.
Sure.
It said, the district administrator reported that on 11 January 2020, they're going to have the tabulation committee, and then there was going to be a meeting where someone was going to speak. So I'm going to ask you, is that normally the same person or different people, so that we don't look like there's any conflict?
So usually for the tabulation committee, in the past, this happened in the system before, that wasn't an action item, the commissioners just elected a person who they wanted to be in the tabulation committee, and that was as simple as it was. The district wanted to be more of a formal process this time around, that's why there's an agenda item. As far as the pro and con debate, Mike, we usually just reach out to the state association and have them assist us and have them send someone down from the state association for the pro line. That's what we did the last time, and that's what we are gonna do this time around. I've already reached out to Philip Cordia, who's the executive director. I'm just waiting back for a phone call from him.
If that be the will of the commission, that we would have them speak in place of one of the commissioners.
Yeah,
Okay.
and usually, and that's what we use is, someone from the state association we have.
That was my question, is to make sure that there's not a conflict. And so, and I'm gonna ask you your opinion, does this individual have any ties to Hesperia School District at this time? Is he employed here or been
The
employed
person
here?
for the pro line,
Yes,
more than likely it'll be someone from Northern California, it will be someone local.
okay, that's what I wanted to find out.
And Mr. Gordillo, I think he's
He's in San Jose.
San Jose, so he's Central California.
But as long as he's never been employed here and has no ties, I
No.
think we're safe, okay? Thank you.
So for instance, it wouldn't be George Cole. George Cole would be a person that's considered an expert in the state. He has been an employee here, he's been an employee in Apple Valley, I think at one point, he did long-term stints. It probably would be Mr. Cole to come out to the pro line.
We wouldn't allow it though, correct? If he
I
was.
would not advise that.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead. You gonna do a
Okay, so you're
nomination?
making a
I'll
motion
tabulate.
with the name.
I
Can
nominate
nominate
myself
yourself?
to tabulate.
Okay.
You nominated yourself to tabulate?
I sure did.
Okay, I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
I
on
don't think that's a
that?
Brown Act violation as far as I know.
No, he
so
can nominate
I'm-
himself.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just saying, okay?
Okay, so the motion on the table is to select Arnold Rocha to be the member of the commission, to give you a different name, to the Tabulations Committee to dissolve the Personnel Commission. So for the vote, Mr. Rocha,
What if I voted no?
I kick you.
Aye.
Mr. Valencia,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well.
She's gonna change her name to Fred, so she'll
Yeah,
say
you
it
know what,
easier,
and that would
okay?
be easiest.
And,
Or hey, you.
okay. For discussion, monthly activity report for October 2021. Any comments, concerns,
Isn't that-
discussions on that?
That's informational.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything on that? Anybody? No?
None.
Can I come back on when I get time to speak?
Sure.
Or, because it's an informational item, not an action item.
Right. Next item for information, current recruitments and transfers. Any comments, questions, concerns on that?
None.
Next informational item is the advanced step placement rubric. Something that we've been kind of asking for, and the commission staff has worked pretty hard on that to come up with something that I think is very clear as to how the advanced step placements are determined based on the Personnel Commission rules.
Well,
And-
it's always been based on the personnel commission.
Right, but pretty clear as
This way, the
to
rubric
evidence.
that's in front of you guys is just a cleaner, straightforward way to do it, where there's no misconceptions. So instead of that long memo that you guys will usually get from me,
Right.
it's based on the rubric, based on Rule 170, which is right there in front of you, it's broken down, so.
So this is gonna replace, I'm sorry, but
No,
No.
is this gonna replace the memo then?
Yes.
So doesn't the memo justify where you're putting the checks?
Well, then we'll have the backup, because the memo was basically consists of the information they provided, so we'll still review the
the
information they
cover
provided.
page, it was 2
All right.
pages, like that long cover page. This will kind of replace that, but the
So
supporting
this will have the
documentation like we
support.
got today
This will have
still be
support.
attached.
This will
Okay.
basically have anything that we have in this, those past 4 memos that we just approved.
Yes, it will still
Okay,
have the
it will
supporting
still have-
documentation attached to it. So when you look at it to make your decision,
We have that.
you have that supporting
Okay.
documentation.
Okay,
Yep.
going back to this, I don't recommend that we put this in the policy or in the,
No.
in the,
We're not changing the policy. The
Okay.
review and the rubric is still based on what the rules say. It's just a
and it's
cover
gonna be a,
sheet.
it's gonna be a worksheet then?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
gonna- it's-
exactly.
We're gonna retain this in the personnel file?
Yes, it
Okay.
goes along with the memo. So when you guys get the memo, this is gonna be on top of the memo, basically. You guys used to get another cover sheet that gave the rule.
This is replacing the
Correct.
cover sheet.
Okay, thank you.
I think this is good. That-
Just if I could, if you would send this to me in the format that it was actually done, because I have comments that I've been working on. And if it's just to review today, it's just a review document.
It's just discussion.
It's
There
a
will not be
discussion.
any action on it.
There's not
No, no, and that's why if I can get it so that when I think there's some things that I would like to see in here. And I guess one of the things that I want to mention is, we have across the top, and we still do, from the last rubric that we had at the last meeting that we were looking at, the years is what I'm looking at. See the years right here? I think that some of these factors here are not related to years.
But
Got it.
You know what
But you have to base on what the commission will.
I understand, but when you see a column, it kind of looks like it's applying to each one of these factors that they're going to be based on for the salary step advancement. So if you look at this one, additional education at the college, so is that degrees, or is that 3 to 4 years? Is that 5 to 8? I guess that's what I'm saying. It doesn't, I don't know that it correlates with each factor.
But if you look at the.
It's just, yeah, just send it to me so I can show you what I'm talking about. I think that would be
Yeah,
easier.
it's just, I think it's just a formatting thing
Yeah.
to clarify it.
To
It's not
clarify.
changing the information.
No, it's
I
not gonna
understand what you're
change.
saying.
It's just, and I'd like to see
Kind of
that.
changing the table a little bit,
Yeah.
but the layout, but
The-
not the information. I think it's, yeah. I understand what you're saying.
And,
Yeah.
and one more
I like
point,
it.
is this, each one of these factors that are going to be reviewed for the employee, how did we derive at this?
This,
Okay, is this, okay,
It's
so
the rule.
it's the rule. Cool.
kind of summarize. It's the
I'm done.
rule.
Okay.
And it's not like the rule, but if you look at
Come in school.
so many I mean, I've pulled up so many different commissions across the state. There may be a word or two different, or maybe in a different number order, but it is pretty much the basic
Okay,
guidelines that they
got
use.
it.
As I was researching the advanced step
Thank you.
placement, I was finding.
That's it for me. If you could just send me
Similarities.
that, I'd appreciate it.
All right, now I hate to ask a question that seems like it's not ours, but it is, this is ours, we created it. But did we create it with the participation of the district and CSEA so that they had some idea of what we were doing?
Thank you.
No,
I,
there's no need to, I don't think there's a need to be.
It's a question. Thank you. I mean, they might like a pink form instead of a white form or something.
Well, the district does pay for the paper, but.
Okay.
Any
Thank
other
you.
discussion on the rubric?
None for
No.
me. None
Okay.
for me.
All right, Commissioner comments and requests for future agenda items?
Nothing for Mr. Rocha.
Thank you, Anthony.
Nothing for me, thank you.
I'll say my own
You're
name,
gonna-
just in
You
case.
don't have anything else?
Fred, behave.
Fred.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Just one thing to follow up from a suggestion or a recommendation that we had from public comments as far as scheduling meetings at a different time, and we're not bringing that forward. I just figured it would be left for the new, not the replacement, for the new calendar, because the calendar was set for the year. The calendar is set by year. So when the new calendar is set for 2022, then maybe it could be discussed at that time rather than changing the calendars. I don't think I have any.
Madam Chair, if I do have some comments, can I? bring
Use
up
some
one?
of my time?
Yes,
Sure.
can I use, please? So if I'm correct, this is our chairs. Will she be, last meeting. I just want to take the time to thank you. I really appreciate all your assistance and your guidance and your expertise
Thank you.
that you've shared. It's, could have hoped for different, but it is what it is. And I just
Sorry.
wish you everything, all the best, and just hope that I can take that forward. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for taking your time.
That's okay. Had a little bit of spare time left. Okay, Mr. Dickinson?
Just want to say, the last 3 years of you being commissioner has been a great experience. I think we've learned a lot.
You know what?
We've learned a lot
Put him in.
from one another. I
Commissioner
think
comments, I
that,
need to
you've
go.
always had the best interest of the classified employees of the district when you made a decision, and you're gonna be missed.
Thank you. Want to say something else?
I had, I didn't realize it was my turn for the commissioner comments.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say thank you for your time working here, but I also had something I wanted to mention that
Right.
deals with the mission. Other than,
That's why I
thank
asked
you
you
for.
if I thought you had something to say.
I did, and that was, it appears that we're having a campus security assistant problem recruiting again, and a campus aide,
Campus security.
and campus aides, and,
It's campus security assistant and campus security.
right.
Classifications.
And so we've been banging on that door for a long time. So I contacted someone by the name of Rand, R-A-N-D, Pageant at the Victor Valley College. I'm going to give this to you. And I'd like to, Madam Chair, have you, would like to give some direction to Deshaun to contact this guy at the Victor Valley College to see if they can put together a training program that would produce people for the campus security assistant and campus aide program for us so that we could hire them out of college and they'd be ready to roll rather than just, it seems like we're campaigning for the same people and they're so hard to find. So this guy's in charge of the criminal justice director, all right? And I had some communication with him in regards to some higher level education classes for my staff in this area. So, thank you.
Okay, so just I will provide this to you, maybe you can work with him as far as recruiting, how they can assist
So
with
we, so many-
publicizing.
Yeah, so many, just to give you some historical background as far as staff development training for campus security. We've contracted with different agencies through the years. One was Dave Rosardi for many years. We used the Phoenix Group for a couple of years. This particular year, we used someone from Homeland Security that came out and did a week training, or 3.5 days training for our campus security. We did offer the exact same training to our campus security assistants over the fall break. We were gonna pay them additional money. There wasn't a lot of takers because the training's roughly about $5,000 for the training. They give us a flat fee, doesn't matter
How many people?
We've recently, in the past, worked with a person that Mr. Valencia knows by the name of James Martinez. Has come out and did some training for us as well. He does the SB 390 training, and he also does the 1662 training or whatever type of thing that we offer sometimes. And I'll definitely reach out to the college and see what training they offer, and if we can have a partnership, get some additional training, because there is some money for staff development or possible points. So I'll reach out to them.
Beat them up and get something going.
And I think that one of our ex-employees is actually the dean over that career path over CTE, and that would be CTE. So we might have a little leeway there.
Sounds great. And once again, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And my last comment would be, as far as the pro and cons, Mike, that it come back to the commission. That wasn't something we could take action on today, not being on the agenda. So,
Well, like I said, I didn't have any additional information to get back to you, that's why.
right, so that it come back to the commission at their December meeting for discussion, or whether or not it's an action item, to be able to determine who that would be. And then Dr. Rubalcaba, if I may ask you to at least send to me, I don't know if anybody else is interested, the calendar of events that you spoke about today, as far as the,
Well, the pro and just let you know, the pro and con debate, the pro and con debate will be open to the public. It will be after work, I'm sure, for who's going to attend it or whatever.
but as far as asking for a commissioner to sit on it, I mean, that wasn't something we could take action on today because it was not on the agenda. So I'm not sure, I don't think I wrote down the date of the pro-con, Mike.
February 18th or January 18th?
We're proposing to the board January 11th.
Okay.
Oh.
For the
So you
forum.
will be having a December meeting prior to that to determine
When's
who,
your next meeting?
who me, December something?
January 13th, maybe?
Is it December 14th?
Possibly.
December 14th?
So,
Isn't December 14th our organizational meeting also?
Correct.
I don't, I'll verify, but for the tabulation committee, because it's a formal committee, that's why we asked the commission to take action and provide the proposed name. However, for the pro-mic, I don't know if it requires action, as it can be, anyone from the association, or any representative that the personnel commission would like to propose to the board. So I don't know if it requires action.
but as far as having that discussion in the commission agreeing whether it be an action item or just coming to a consensus, we would have needed a little bit more information to decide whether if you're going to go with an outside person or go with one of the commissioners to be able to sit on that. I mean, I understand that you, the pro-con, I understand that you would advise, but without having information, if it were today for us to make a decision, I wouldn't be prepared without having information as far as what that entails to say whether I wanted to do it or let somebody who's more experienced in it. So I don't think that,
And
whether
you
it
know
be
what?
action item or just saying like, hey, in cahoots, let's send a name to Dr. Rubalcaba. I don't think that could be done today.
Maybe I can have Philip call in, who's the executive director of the association, and, call into one of the meetings or whatever type of thing. Or technically, you're still the chair until December 1st, if you would like to reach out to him and have a conversation with him.
But regardless, we would have to have a special meeting to be able to discuss that because he and I couldn't discuss it behind closed doors. He and I couldn't discuss it. So regardless, it's either going to be a special meeting or the December meeting, I believe, in order to follow the rules, Robert's Rules of Orders, whatnot, to be able to make a decision whether we want to go with an outsider or one of us wants to sit on the mic or one of whoever may be seated at that time. So without additional information today, I mean, if it doesn't have to be an action item, maybe we could have made a decision today, but not knowing what it is, I'm not comfortable making that decision. So if it, we would like to have a special meeting and do it prior to December 14th, or whoever's seated at that time can do it on December 14th. That's just my concern with that. You've heard me beat my drum about taking time to investigate things and research things and color things and write things and stuff like that. I don't like things being dropped in my lap that I would be accountable for later.
Well, I was just told that again myself.
That's what I'm saying, is that I don't think, so with the one item that was on here, I did kind of look into it. I just wanted to be sure that what I was researching was the same thing that Dr. Rubalcaba was talking about. And so he confirmed that, and I was able to make a decision on it at this time, but for the pro-con mic, I'm not. So, any other thing for information discussion, future agenda items?
None.
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay, with that, if I have a motion to go to closed session?
I move to go to closed session.
Second.
Okay. And vote?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
And I as well. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. With there being nothing to report out of closed session and no further business to come before the commission, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move for adjournment.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And I as well. This meeting is adjourned at 4:22. Thank you.
Thank you.